As the crypto market starts to gain momentum, and yes, if we just look at the charts, you can see there is a lot of green popping up in the markets. I want to go over how to actually leave crypto with more money than you came into. It sounds simple. Crypto is a super explosive industry if you are in at the right times or you have the right strategy. But there's a few key pillars that I live by, and I feel like it's really helped me stick to a code and be able to actually profit long term in crypto. So in this video, we're going to go over my couple of steps to ensure that you are profitable this upcoming bull cycle. You're lucky you're watching these types of things in the bear market where the market is low. So you can take advantage of these and be able to profit if done right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. And as always, guys, drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every single day here on In the Game. Monday through Friday, we have you covered top to bottom with everything you need to win in crypto. Of course, also shout out to our sponsors down below in the description. We're hosting a $120,000 trading contest with our sponsors over at Blowfin. You can check that out down below in the description. Let's go ahead and just dive right into it. So I think this video is very important because first and foremost, like I said, congratulations, because most people leave during bear markets. So if you are here searching crypto or even just consuming crypto content at a point where Bitcoin is almost 50% down still from all-time highs, you deserve a pat on the back. Altcoins have been crushed over that same time period. But right now with, this recent quote unquote ceasefire, we're seeing momentum in the market. Bitcoin's up 5%, officially crossed back over that $70,000 level. And this is not a current market playbook, but I do think that it's a really important time to just go over a few of the things that, like I said, I've been in this industry. It feels crazy to say, but almost 10 years. 9 years ago, I discovered crypto and Bitcoin and started, researching Ethereum at the time, like stuff like Cardano, Ripple, all that stuff. So just all my time in crypto, every cycle presents you a little bit different challenges. And I do feel like there's a set of rules and criteria that you can play by to ensure that you come out of this bull market ultimately profitable. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. It's just a few pillars that I want to go over. Number one is stop being afraid of making a purchase or getting into a token during uncertain times. And in fact, uncertain times in the market, like a bear market, are the absolute best time to start taking shots on gold. And of course, when you look across the board, we see it all the time. People are like, oh, well, Bittensor's up 73% this month. I didn't catch that trade. Well, it's still over 50% from its all-time high. So I feel like a lot of people get scared. They don't want to DCA and have that feeling of, wow, it's going to go lower. And of course, if you're buying a $3 million market cap coin in the middle of a bear market, yeah, okay. You're probably going to get rinsed on that for the most part. But if you're up here buying XRP or Hyperliquid or stuff like Bittensor Tau, Near Protocol, Caspa during a market like this where they're 60%, 50, 60, 70%, sometimes even 80% down from their recent cycle highs from this last summer, I think that's a great proposition. And you can't look at it as, wow, I'm losing money on these things. It's a bear market. So if you go in here today and you buy Tau at 330, what is it sitting at right now? $333. And maybe the bear market goes on for another 6 months. Maybe this pump retraces. Maybe we see $200 Bittensor again. That's unrealized. And you just have to understand, I know a lot of people still underwater from recent stock purchases. It happens. Okay. Do not be afraid to make quality altcoin buys during uncertain times of the market. And in fact, uncertainty is where the most opportunity truly lies in this market. Number two, and I feel like this is a mistake that everyone at some point makes, and especially if you're playing with not a lot of money in crypto, but you want to, hit it big in crypto. And also, I did want to go over this tweet just in regards to what I was just talking about. People are overcomplicating risk on setups. Capital in risk on doesn't care about crowded. It piles into what's working. Recently, that's been Zcash, hyper liquid. Right now, Monad is randomly pumping. We're seeing Tau have a short list of alts. Problem is that people think they can outsmart a fairly illiquid market. And that goes back to my number one point is everyone thinks they know what's going to happen in crypto, but crypto is the most illiquid and illogical asset class. Okay. Tomorrow it could do something completely ridiculous that has nothing to do with broader world news. It's just completely a detached asset class from logic. And of course, you hold your basket of altcoins, like what Game says here. Tau, Mon, and Zcash have been in his basket for a while. Could have just found an entry on pullbacks and taken the ride. No need to think you're smarter than that. And that's my first point. You can't outsmart the market, so don't be afraid to make quality buys during uncertain or bearish time periods. Number two is, of course, and also just make sure you have your watch list curated. Even my watch list, I need to go through here and take out so many tokens on my watch list. I have way too many. And realistically, there's maybe 20 or 30 that I would monitor with any seriousness this next alt wave. And on top of that, right now, I mean, I'm holding probably less than 7 tokens in total in my entire portfolio. But this is the time to curate that watch list. Number two is make sure you have, and this is the mistake I said a lot of people make, especially when you're a beginner, make sure you have stable coins on the side. Whether you're, like I said, I might have 6 or 7 portfolio tokens in my portfolio currently. And I also have stable coins. So whenever I say, okay, I hold 6 tokens, that is maybe 75% of my capital on chain. And then that other 25% is strictly stable coins. Now, why is this? When you start to see a narrative pop up, let's just go to the weekly charts here. Let's say you are looking at Zcash. Zcash is on a big run right now. It's up 55% and it's up 23% on the weekly. And maybe this is something that you saw, kind of whenever it was coming up, right? You see, okay, it's up 8% today. It's up 8% the next day. I'm going to take a position here. It's clearly showing strength. It's showing social attention, etc. You want to not have to sell other positions to get into these. So I ensure always that I have stable coins to make sure that I can take advantage of these trades. And more importantly, don't just go deposit these stable coins into a leverage exchange and over leverage yourself. That is by far the number one mistake that you can make, especially during this time period. There is no reason for anyone to be out here over leveraging yourself, over leveraging your entire portfolio because you want to hit a 20x trade on leverage overnight. That is the single fastest way to ensure that your portfolio goes to zero. I maybe have 5% or less in total in a leverage account in crypto of my entire on-chain funding. And I would not advise, unless you are a complete expert, to go in here and try to leverage trade these markets. Like I said, it's a very illogical market. So do not over leverage yourself just because you want to hit a home run overnight. Stay in spot positions as much as possible. It's just, that's how you're going to ensure survival long-term in this industry. And of course, make sure you're sticking to what's in the attention fold. Crypto has been in a bear period, but stuff like Hyperliquid and Bittensor Tau have actually been in a pretty much full-fledged bull run during this time period, right? We see the growth of Bittensor. We see the subnets absolutely popping off. And this is where that rule number one comes back into play, that don't be afraid to allocate into your favorite positions, no matter the market. And that's something like I see in the comment section so much is, oh, I'll wait till 50K to buy. Okay. Like if you really think we're going to 50K and you can stomach missing the upside, if we go right to 80, 85K from here, what if we see this conflict kind of cool off? We actually see a real ceasefire. The strait is back opened. We could see a clear path upward from there. And if you're willing to miss that and pray for a 50K entry, which is about 70% down from all-time highs, that's on you, right? But I do think it's so much healthier for your mentality to not have to sweat every morning you wake up looking at the charts like, oh, did I miss the bottom? So it's one of the most unhealthy things you can do in crypto. And on top of that, you want to make sure that you're allocated. I don't sell stocks in and out. I hold stocks long term, right? And crypto is a much more risk on asset class than that. So you can't do one to one whenever it comes to the risk there. But if you're in quality assets that have proven themselves over time, I don't really think you're going to have an issue. And this tweet points out, leverage traders learning they could just hold spot positions. Just sit and spot and chill. And if you really see a clear setup on a token, you can take advantage of that. But otherwise, I think most investors should definitely not be over leveraging themselves and stick to quality tokens, no matter the timing. And on top of that, make sure you're not over leveraging yourself. Number three, and honestly, most important, you're going to see a lot of people on social media, Twitter, YouTube, etc., myself included. I think that coins like Hyperliquid could go to 100. I think that Tau could hit $1,000. That these are genuine predictions. But if everyone is thinking for a single price target, you need to prepare that if your bag gets up towards these levels and it would make a difference in your life to sell, you need to sell. I think in crypto, it's one of the hardest things. And I would say it's almost like a game. Investing is kind of like a game at the end of the day with serious stakes. But crypto is really hard because you're going to sell something, take profits, and then someone is inevitably going to have made more money on a trade than you. And that's just the name of the game. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if you're out here and you look at your portfolio at the peak of the next bull market, maybe it's, a year and a half, 2 years from now, it could be, this is a time-stamped video to just come back to and kind of refresh and kind of get those don't rest on your laurels type of thing. They should definitely be like your code of conduct on how to take profits in crypto. Whenever that number pops up on your screen one day during this cycle, and it would make a tangible difference in your life to sell, do not hold because you believe that, like last cycle, everyone thought Bitcoin was going to 100K in 2021. We didn't get to that number, and a lot of people were frustrated and actually left crypto because they felt like, oh, it didn't hit 100K. What a scam. That's going to be a replay, and it happens every time. People have a target. It falls short of that target. We didn't even get Ethereum all-time highs this last year. So at the end of the day, if the amount of money on the screen in your wallet at any point in time during any cycle doesn't matter, if it would change your life, do something for your family, for your kids, for your lifestyle, you can pay off your house, pay off your cars, I advise you and I implore you deeply to take profits and seriously consider selling parts, if not all of that position. Because look, what makes a difference in Warren Buffett's life, that's not the same as the game that you're playing. Or you go look on Twitter and you see some meme coin guy making 100K on a trade, but maybe a $7,000 trade would make a difference for you. So always remember, comparison is the thief of joy. And if that number on the screen at any given time period, bull, bear, you make a good trade, if it's going to make a difference for you, please, please, I advise you to take profits on that position. And last but certainly not least is take advantage of yield farms during a bull market. Now, the only way I would do this is making sure that the top asset classes, stuff like Hyperliquid, for example, you could see 100+ APR on some of these pairs. And I'm actually going to make a full-fledged video. I got great feedback on the Bittensor Tau staking video, which we also went over exactly how to take advantage of and be able to stake your Tau for daily yield. And it just adds to your Tau stack. It's a really intuitive ecosystem. I'm going to do one for Hyperliquid to show you guys how to get over 100% APR on your Hyperliquid holdings. It's insane, but it's real. And I would only do this with top assets. Do not go into some $5 million yield farm. We've seen the DeFi Ponzi's of the past, not talking like a drip network that went under and like all these like forks and all the tomb and Wonderland time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimate farms, talking about staking your Tau, staking your Hyperliquid, and ecosystem projects that can actually generate you yield, because I can promise you a lot of people don't take advantage of this. And when assets are appreciating and you're getting crazy yield at the same time, and especially when it comes to Tau subnets, some of these things are going to be paying out 40+% APR. But as Tau grows in price throughout, just time in general, that yield is going to be so lucrative. And most people are just going to be holding spot TAO. So you can go in there and capitalize on holding and actually staking your TAO and making sure that you get absolute great yields and returns on your bag during a bull market. And I wanted to come with this video today because I know it's a little bit of a rant, but it is a lot of things that I feel like can be so simple on paper, but greed takes over, FOMO takes over. This is more of a, keep it level. We are starting to see the market turn right now. Do I think that this is the start of a bull market? To be honest, no. But also, this is why we allocate to the market, right? We are going to make sure that no matter what, we have our bags ready to go in spot. We have stables to deploy if we feel like the momentum continues. We're going to be good no matter what, right? And that's part of what this whole thing's about. Don't over leverage yourself. Always keep stable coins on the side. Don't be afraid to sit in quality projects even during a bear market. There is nothing wrong with that. Do you go into your stock portfolio and sell NVIDIA every day into Tesla and then back into Palantir or whatever the case is? No, you let them sit long term. And if the asset's quality, don't be afraid to stick your neck out and just have a position in HYPE or TAO during these time periods. Ensure that you're taking advantage of ecosystem mechanisms like yield and staking, because most people won't. And there will be a tangible difference for those who take advantage of high APR, but sustainable yield farming during this time period. And of course, if the number on the screen ever will change your life in a sustainable way, or a substantial way, I should say, please, I advocate you. That is the time to sell. Don't always base it off what I think or what Rand thinks or what Alex Becker thinks, whatever the case is. Obviously, we are extremely bullish on this industry, but we also will be taking profits the same way that you should be. And I think that people get so caught up in price predictions and the euphoria and the FOMO. Well, what if it doubles from here, but I sell today? Like, you can't really think about that, because there's going to be tons of people that ride it all the way up and ride it all the way back down. That's why people have a negative sentiment in crypto. And I kind of just wanted to come today with a little bit of grounding lessons as the market picks up momentum here. Like I said, we could go to 80, 85. We could see a $50 hype again. We could see a $500 Bittensor TAO. We're starting to see Zcash heat up. Zcash could rip back up to 500 plus. And a lot of people will be up a good amount if you've been buying during these time periods. So I kind of just wanted to come with a little bit of a rant, but also just lessons for anyone to be able to prepare now and have those in your mind before the market does potentially take off throughout this summertime, or whether it's in August or October that we see a full-fledged turnaround in the market. But right now is one of those time periods where I see a lot of FOMO in comments and on social media. And I think it's a good time to just kind of address the ways that I play the game, the ways that I think that a lot of smart investors are doing things, making sure that you're level-headed, your psychology is healthy, you're well allocated, but also you're liquid enough to get into other positions or to take advantage of further market dips. So guys, that's it for today's video. Not a lot of alpha as far as tokens in the market, but that wasn't the point of today's video. It's more so criterias I think you should play by if you plan to leave with profits this time around. Also, if you've been enjoying the content here on YouTube, we have done some live streams previously. We're going to be moving those live streams over to Kick. There's just a little more flexibility to the things we can do between trading crypto and also being able to jump into prediction markets and other stuff like that. So I advise, if you want to catch up with some live streams, I will be live later today and about 3 days a week on top of daily uploads here on YouTube. And you can check that out. There's a Kick link down below, kick.com/hustlepedia. And you can find me live there about 3 days a week. Tomorrow and Friday, we have really high alpha videos, staking guide for Hyperliquid, as well as AI tokens. You won't want to miss that. If you enjoyed the content, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more. And I'll see you guys on the next video. As always, trade responsibly, my friends. And of course, stay bullish, my friends.